Hey y'all, today we are making homemade fudgsicles. Okay, so you're gonna need a medium-sized pot. Don't freak out about the size burner I'm using. This pot is too big for the back burner, so I have to use the front burner. Some of y'all get very upset about that. So anyway, you're gonna add in 3/4 or 3/4 of a cup of sugar to your pot. And then we're going to add in some cocoa powder. Use any kind of cocoa powder that you like, unsweetened cocoa powder. I'm going to add in 1/2 of a cup of the cocoa powder. And then we are going to add in some cornstarch. This is going to help us make this a creamier, thicker texture. If we don't add the cornstarch, it's going to be super thin like a chocolate syrup rather than the kind of creamy, thick texture of the fudgesicle that we're trying to make. So if you don't do cornstarch, you can absolutely substitute arrowroot powder if you need to do that. Then we're just going to add a little pinch of salt. And then my video where I don't think it was my last video. I don't know. I've slept since then. But we made chocolate syrup, homemade chocolate syrup. And I had a doozy of a time trying to get the cocoa powder to stir in. So several of y'all suggested to mix the cocoa powder and the sugar together first, and then whisk the milk in, and it mixes better. I still had a little bit of a tough time getting it to mix. As you can see, it kind of takes forever, but it definitely was quicker than if I did it the other way around. So mix your dry ingredients together first, whisk them together, and then slowly add in 2 cups of milk. And I'm using 2% milk. Use whatever kind of milk you have. I don't know if almond milk or like a substitute would work for this. I haven't tried it, but if y'all tried or if you know, just let us all know. But this is just regular 2% milk. And you're going to whisk that up. We're going to turn the heat to medium, and we're going to let this sort of come to not like a huge boil, which my burners will not hold heat the way they're supposed to. They're all or nothing. My burners are crazy. But you want to get it to, kind of a low boil, and we're going to let it cook about 5 minutes or so, just until it thickens up a little bit. As you can see here, the color changes. It's not so foamy on the top. You're going to want it to thicken up a little bit where it will coat a spoon, okay? And you'll see that in a minute when I put a spoon in it. So this is what it looks like after 5 minutes. Take it off the heat, and we're going to add in about a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to whisk in 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, okay? And this is going to make it just extra creamy. Y'all, these are so good. I know I say that all the time, but they really are. Honestly, for me, I know not everybody's taste is the same, but I would never put a video out if I didn't actually like what it tasted like. In case anybody was wondering, I don't just make videos and just, hope somebody's going to like it. These are actually recipes that I enjoy myself. So that's why I like to share them with y'all. So anyway, you're going to just whisk your heavy cream and your vanilla in there until everything is really good and combined. And I did have some on the side of my pot right there, so I'm going to get just a silicone spoon. I love silicone spoons or spatulas because it really is, you're able to get the stuff off of there and you don't scratch your pan all up. So just in case anybody in the world isn't using silicone yet. But you see how it coats that spoon? I mean, it runs off of it, but see how there's a coating of it on the spoon? That's what you want, okay? So now we're going to put this in our popsicle molds. This is the one I used when I made I made a video a little bit back on different flavored popsicles, like strawberry, orange dreamsicle, creamsicle, and then like some ice pops. This is the same mold. So I will link it down below for y'all. I got it off of Amazon. And you're just going to scoop, or if you have a steadier hand than me, you can just pick the pot up and pour it. But I know that I can't trust myself to pour hot chocolate out of a pot. into those little tiny containers. So anyway, you're just going to scoop this until you get all of your popsicle molds filled up. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this makes 10 popsicles. But again, I'll link it down below so y'all can see the size of the mold. I mean, you can get the silicone molds anywhere, but I always like to reference what I have for, like, especially size reference. So hopefully that helps y'all if you have your own molds or if you're planning on getting molds. So anyway, you're just going to keep going until everything is, equally distributed. And of course, I made a mess. Even not pouring it straight out of the pot, I made a mess. So, but I have to clean up behind myself because I really didn't want to lean into it. I knew I was going to lean in there and get chocolate all over me. So then I just cleaned up the top of the container the top of the mold a little bit. And then I am going to put the little lid that comes with it on here. And then I am going to use these. These are just going to be for my house, but I'm still going to use the disposable popsicle sticks just because I already had them out. But this kit does come with the plastic sticks that you can reuse. So, just FYI. And a few of y'all had commented last time when I made the popsicles also to not stick the stick in there so far. So I'm not sticking the sticks in there as far this time. And, it doesn't matter, but it's fine, but I listened to y'all. See, I do listen to y'all. So we're going to put that in the freezer at least 6 hours. I leave mine in there overnight. So this is the next day, once everything was good and frozen. So you're just going to pop this little silicone lid off, and you see there's a little bit of ice on the top. That's okay. It's fine. It was in the freezer. Freezers make ice. And there's our little Fudgsicles down there in our molds. So what you're going to want to do is run your mold under some water. I just do mine under cold water because that usually releases it and it doesn't melt it as much as running it under warm water. So then you're just going to very carefully pop these out. Now I will say the one thing I don't like about this mold, I feel like if the whatever I'm making in it is not a solid ice block, that I tend to mush the end of my popsicles when I try to push them out of the mold. See how it's kind of disfigured? But in my defense, these, because the mixture was so thick, I didn't realize it, but it actually didn't go all the way to the bottom of the popsicle mold because there's no chocolate left in the mold. And every one of them were like that. So it's fine, but these are super, super delicious. They taste way better than store-bought, I promise you. So you have to make these. All right, y'all, enjoy the Fudgsicles. That is all that I have for y'all today, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.